Guys, what's up? Greg here, the Vinyl Rundown, featuring the new Vinyl Rundown t-shirt. Not available at any website or merch store yet. My wife gave this to me for Christmas before I even started the channel. 3 months later, I'm finally wearing it for the first time. Anyway, I kind of lost it for a while. You guys know I do a lot of thrift shop record shopping. Every Friday after work, get off work early on Friday, go hit 3 or 4 thrift shops. Yesterday was no different. Hit 4 thrift shops, and what I have to show you is kind of different, mind-boggling. Why? Well, backing up a little bit, you've probably seen that I'm bringing home 5-10 records a week from thrift shops. There are like 4 different Goodwills and stuff within a couple miles from my house. I hit them all the time, and I'm coming home with these stacks of records that might be a little junky, aren't necessarily great, and my house is overflowing with junky records. 40 cubes of IKEA stuff back here, totally full. I got stacks of records in 4 or 5 different rooms. I got 7 turntables in 7 different rooms. Each one has its own little stack of records next to it, plus hundreds in the garage, so it's getting out of hand. So the good news, I came home with 0 records from the Goodwill yesterday. Can you believe it? I did grab some and held them in my hand and thought I should buy this, maybe, maybe not. I'll tell you about those coming up on the Vinyl Rundown. I'm telling you about records that I didn't even buy. Where else can you get that quality of entertainment? So let me just think back, because I got to do this from memory since I didn't buy them. I had a copy of James Gang Rides Again, Joe Walsh. Nice record. I was ready to buy that. Completely scratched up. Didn't buy it. Okay, that's easy. You don't buy them if they're terribly scratched. One of the Goodwills had like 10. I'm going to show you. Hold on. One of the Goodwills had like 10 of these record albums. This is an actual record album. That's why we call them albums, because they're booklets of records in the old days. So apparently some person died, left like all of their records, 78s, to the Goodwill. There's a big stack of these booklets. I went through them all. Nothing great. I mean, you know, when an 80-plus person dies, the stuff they were listening to back in the 30s, 40s, a lot of big band stuff. Which I like big band stuff, but that stuff is so common. You don't need more copies of Harry James and Benny Goodman and all that type of stuff. So nothing good there. But these albums are kind of cool because people are encouraged to write the names of the records in here. So it's kind of cool to find those, and maybe they'll write the style, like, you know, big band, country, western, show tunes, whatever. Big stack of those. Didn't get any of them. Looked through them all. Nothing I really had to have. What else did I see? I saw a box set that was pretty, let's say, remarkable. I'm going to remark on it. The complete works of Mozart in one box set. Guess how many discs that is? You know how many pieces of music Mozart made in his lifetime? I don't know, thousands. This was not 20 discs, not 50, not 100. 170 CDs in one box set. They were all on paper sleeves, so they didn't take up too much room. It's a box about this big. And it was priced at $34. I'm thinking, okay, what is that? 20 cents a disc or something? It's a good deal. Except, it's really not good. I mean, Mozart is great, but the great stuff that he made was later in his life. So the fact that he might have written some symphonies when he was 8 or 10 years old, oh, that's amazing. An 8-year-old wrote a symphony, but doesn't mean it was a great symphony in the larger scope of things. And this is kind of a cheesy box set that was thrown together by one of these cheesy record labels, so they probably weren't A-plus symphonies or recordings. And I mean, just imagine showing up at that recording session and we're like, okay guys, crack the whip. We gotta like crank out 20 more concertos today. They probably weren't feeling it. The performances are probably not extraordinary. And the pieces of music weren't great. I mean, if you're new to Mozart, He composed 40 symphonies, 41. Only the last 3 or 4 are ones that anyone cares about. You're not going to find a recording by a big name orchestra of symphony number 11. It's only 36 to 40, 41 that anybody cares about. And if you really want to go deep on that, Philips did a box set in the 80s that is actually considered good. At least it's, or London maybe. Good orchestras, but still, you can ignore the first 2/3 of Mozart's output for the most part. What else did I see? The thing that I almost bought was a cool guitar amp, a Sovtek guitar amp combo, meaning amp and speaker, one big box. The speaker was ripped out. That tells me that maybe the amp was not functioning. It did not have a plug, it did not have a speaker, it had some tubes. For 14 bucks, if my house wasn't so full of records and I had room for it, I might have bought it, but the transformer was completely rusted, so I'm kind of concerned that if I plugged it in, I'd either electrocute myself or burn down my house, or both. So I left that for some other lucky soul to pick up, a Sovtek guitar amp. What else? What else did I find at the Goodwill? I think that's, oh, the preview to this story is every Friday I come home after work, and I got my pile of records to show my family, and they're, oh, what'd you get, Dad? What'd you get? I came home yesterday, what did I hear? What did I hear? Frank Zappa, apostrophe. My son, my teenage son, was listening to Frank Zappa. How many teenagers out there even know who Frank Zappa is or care? That's really cool. My son has better taste in music than me. I didn't know who Frank Zappa was when I was a kid. I did, but I mean, I wasn't really into his stuff. You know, I knew Valley Girl. That came out when I was in high school. But this has Cosmic Debris. Don't Eat the Yellow Snow, everybody knows that, but Cosmic Debris is actually a cooler song. Apostrophe, Uncle Remus, Stinkfoot, Extra Centripetal Fours, a lot of great, I mean, musicians around here, like a zillion. I'm not going to name them all, but George Duke is on here, keyboards, Jack Bruce on bass, the Fowler Brothers, John-Luc Ponty on violin, Ian Underwood on sax, who else? I can barely read this. That's probably enough for now, right? Anyway, produced, arranged, and struggled with by Frank Zappa. So that was refreshing to come home and hear something cool on the turntable. And that's it, guys. I may have to edit in pictures of all the stacks of records all over my house so you get a feel for how crowded this place is getting with thrift store records. Here's a stack right here. Don't move. This is most of what I got from thrift stores and or record sales in the last 6 weeks. And I've done featured a lot of these on videos that you've seen already. But this is one of many stacks that my poor family has to contend with. I mean, it's records everywhere. It's getting out of hand. So, working on my addiction, working on trying to buy higher quality stuff, as my son keeps telling me over and over. Instead of buying 20 crappy records for $1 each, why don't you buy one good record for $20? 20 bucks on one record? Why would I do that if I can buy mine for $1? You know, it's a mental thing. It's like, I'm worried somebody got there and got the good record before me. And that's happened, you know. I've been at the Goodwill and watched a guy walk out the door with 3 sealed Blue Note records. And if I would have got there 5 minutes earlier, I would have got them. So it's like this mental thing. I gotta keep showing up to make sure I don't miss anything, and then I end up spending more time running around to thrift stores and actually staying home and listening to the records. So this is a mental illness we gotta work on, guys. With your help, there may be a cure for me in the future. That is my thrift store record, no records rant of the week, guys. If you watched, I have to say thank you, because I don't know who would want to watch this insanity. Alright, guys. Subscribe, comment, let me hear your thoughts about hanging out at thrift stores, and we will talk to you soon. Greetings from the Vinyl Rundown. Bye-bye.